the most important game of the year, by far. And the Broncos, I believe, have a fire lit under them. Not only based off of their recent news from Alex Singleton, but we're getting players back like Marvin Mims Jr. We re-signed Lil Jordan Humphrey. And now the entire world is watching the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. It is the most important game all season long. And I'm not going to make this hyperbolic. I'm not going to make this more dramatic than it needs to be. But I think you all can agree with me that every single game leading up to this point has been a test for, can you beat the big ones? Can you beat the Bills? Can you beat the Chiefs? Can you beat the Patriots? Can you beat the Colts? These are all the very biggest teams with the biggest names and the best offenses. So now you have the opportunity to have your first real test. Don't drop the ball, literally. Before we get started on how you beat the Kansas City Chiefs, if you want to continue that win streak, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up icon. Show me right now, as a Broncos fan, that you want to see us not only beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but that this win streak can continue to grow. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. So it's Knicks versus Kermit's on Sunday, and I'm going to be completely real with you. I don't think Patty Mahomes is as good this year as he even was last year. And last year, he wasn't even that good. He was all right. He got good in the playoffs. But up to the point where Patrick Mahomes was playing last year, there was a lot of speculation. They're like, why does Pat Mahomes not look the very same? And a lot of people said it was apathy. Right? Well, at a certain point, when you win too many Super Bowls, you start to get into that slump. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But I will break down this year's 2025 Kansas City Chiefs team. I will break down what this team looks like on paper because this is an offense that is still humming and recently has been humming a lot. Total yards per game, 7th in the NFL. Passing yards per game, 5th in the NFL. Rushing yards per game, 12th. So they're a better passing team than they are a rushing team. That's to be expected. And points per game, they're 9th. So they're pretty much top 10 in every single category. And I think the Broncos know this better than anybody. It's Patrick Mahomes. So how do you do it? You got to punch him in the mouth. You got to be ultra, hyper aggressive from the jump. No soft zone. You're going to play man-to-man coverage, especially with Xavier Worthy now essentially being in the injury report for the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got tons of opportunities, a cornucopia of opportunities to really establish the physical play that you're known for against a team that is going to get booed more times than you can count when they walk into Empower Field at Mile High. There's another narrative, though, that you need to know about the Kansas City Chiefs because we all know who loves Mahomes better than anybody, the damn Zebras. And the Zebras also, for some reason this year, they love to be flag happy against the Denver Broncos. So one of the things that you can expect is a heavily penalized game against the Denver Broncos. Not only because they're a penalized team, but because Patrick Mahomes is the media darling. The refs love Patty. I can't stand it. It's one of my least favorite narratives in the entire NFL. And not because it's not real. It's very real. You saw it all last year, and that's part of the reason that that team went 15-2. So how do you beat the Chiefs? I'm sure you're wondering. How do you beat the Chiefs? Step one. Keep Mahomes out of rhythm. Very simply put. This is very, very easy. If you keep him off the field, the guy can never get into any sort of offensive flow. That's where the offense for the Broncos comes into play. You've got to chunk the ball down the field. Each drive, even if it doesn't result in points, should be taking longer than 4 to 5 minutes. I want to see you bleed the clock. Step two. Press the wide receivers off the line of scrimmage. Without Xavier Worthy, who is their speedster, you're not looking at Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and, of course, Travis Kelce at tight end. But Travis Kelce's an old man now. You can get physical with him. You can bully him around a little bit. And I know that Rashee Rice is bullyable. The corners now, without Pat Surtain, have a major test. You've got to establish what you've been doing the last couple of weeks. Real physical play. And if you're Chris Abrams-Drain, who's no doubtedly going to be in the game, keep the game in front of you. Step three, 4-man front. Drop 7 in coverage. This is what the Philadelphia Eagles did last year against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They dropped 7 people back in coverage. They rushed 4. Who are those 4 for the Denver Broncos? Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers. Those are the 4 that I want to see get after Patrick Mahomes. Drop everybody else back in coverage. That includes Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, Brandon Jones, and everybody else. I want to make sure that none of those wide receivers have any shot at getting open if you're playing zone coverage. And then finally, step 4, limit Bo to 25 to 28 attempts. Whoa, Moose, didn't you just say that Bo's got to be great? Yeah, but you can be great being 19 of 27 for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't want to see Bo Nix throw the ball 46 times this game. It's clear that Bo's a momentum player right now. So how do you eliminate the ups and the downs? Limit the amount of times that he throws. It's simple. Put your trust in the run game. Now, J.K. Dobbins might not be playing, and that's fine. But you got R.J. Harvey, you've got Tyler Bidet, you've got Jaleel McLaughlin. Utilize those 3 to supplant what J.K. Dobbins was giving you. Pardon me. Are you dialed in, Broncos country, for football this week? You should be. This is the most important game we've got on the schedule. We're going to be live for it, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those little bell notifications, and make sure you never, ever miss a time that we do anything here surrounding the Denver Broncos. Coming up, we're going to talk offense. What must the Broncos do in order to secure this victory? We're going to talk a little Bo. We're going to talk a little J.K. Dobbins. We're going to talk a little Broncos offense. Now, before I do that, this Bo Nix jersey right now is $40 off. This deal's not going to last forever. So if you want to sport the very best Bo Nix jerseys, and this is in any color, by the way, it's just this one specifically, but you can get the throwback, you can get the navy, you can get the white. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Bo Nix jersey today for $40 off your next Bo Nix jersey. Use the link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about the Broncos offense. Like I said, J.K. Dobbins most likely not going to play. That's a definite hit for this Broncos offense. He's been outstanding this year. Highway robbery at its very finest. But he's not the entire offense. He's not. You got to expand the playbook. You can't just rely on your 1 to 2 players. There's no more room for these 20 screens a game or feeding J.K. Dobbins 15 times. That might have been a nice game plan if he was actually playing. But right now, you've got to lean on the other players on your offense. That includes Pat Bryant and Courtland Sutton, Troy Franklin. You get Marvin Mims back. And more importantly, it's your offensive line. It's been touted as one of the best in the NFL. Palcho's been great since coming in for Ben Powers. Bowles, McGlinchey, Miners, Wattenberg. It starts offensively with you. You know it's the biggest game. You know all eyes are going to be on you, and you know what the narratives are going to be if you lose this football game. So your offensive keys to victory are as follows. I already gave you the steps to beat the Chiefs, but specifically from the Broncos side of things, when they're on the field with their offense, what do? You chip block with dual tight end sets. Now you have Mercedes Lewis, Adam Troutman. You line up Evan Engram in the slot. We'll talk about him in just a little bit. Attack the sidelines in man coverage. There's no doubt in my mind Kansas City's going to press you off the line. So what do? You got to attack the sidelines, whether that's a wheel route, whether that's a go route, or whether that's a flood on any certain given play. Attack those sidelines. Eliminate the pre-snap penalties. I cannot tell you how infuriating it will be at home if I see 4 or 5 offensive false starts. It will be ridiculously bad. Like, horrible. Chunk the ball down the field. Methodically move the football. That calls for different types of play calling packages, Sean Payton. It doesn't mean run the ball 3 straight times. It doesn't mean throw the ball 3 straight times. Run, pass, run, pass. There's a lot of different combinations you can have. And finally, if you are going to throw the ball, for the love of God, feed Courtland Sutton. Please. He's your number 1 wide receiver for a reason. Just target him more. Even if it's a 50-50 ball, target him. Target him. I want to end today's show by bringing up Evan Engram. If there was ever a game where I wanted to see Evan Engram finally show his worth, it's this game. Because I can forgive everything up to this point. I can take the injuries and the lack of productivity from what we thought you were going to be. This is not nearly good enough. 24th among tight ends in receptions. 27th among tight ends in yards. 1 touchdown. And 70th amongst qualifying tight ends in yards per reception at 8.1. Is it fair now to at least admit that Evan Engram was our worst free agent signing? At least up to this point, he's been so lackluster. I wouldn't say he's been awful. Like, he's not been a complete whiff, but for what you've signed this guy to, he's not delivering what you wanted to. Now, granted, some of that could be injuries, and I totally understand that. But if this was ever a game for me to just say, I right the wrongs that you've done, I'm cleaning your slate, it's against the Kansas City Chiefs. Before we get on out of here, if you continue the win streak, or if you want to continue the win streak, my apologies, hit that thumbs up icon. If you've already liked the video, don't unlike the video. But just make sure that that button is hit. That's going to do it for us on today's episode, Broncos Country. A reminder to subscribe to the channel. We will be live for Broncos versus Chiefs. And as always, Mile High Salute. Be cool.